Now we're joined by Silvercrest Insurance Brokers CEO Grant Mason. Grant, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Jacob.
Cool stuff. And Dennis is still around. Thank you again for being here, Dennis. I really appreciate it. Now, the reason why we have Grant Mason here is because supercar insurance is a bit tricky, especially when you're driving a supercar around a track. Now, Grant, you tell me, as a sponsor and a partner to the Festival of Motoring, how's your role here when it comes to bringing owners with their supercars and driving the supercars around the track? Do you have to take out certain supercar insurance for the track?
Yes, Jacob, you do. A conventional insurance policy doesn't cover you whilst on track. Most guys are obviously ignorant to the fact. They think it's automatically covered, but it's not. So what we as Silvercrest did is we partnered up with Dennis and his team, and we've now brought an offering to supercar owners for days like this event, where they can now put their car on the track and have peace of mind that they have cover. The cover is obviously limited. It's only own damage cover. It excludes all liability, but obviously there's a disclaimer that needs to be signed on entrance to the event, so at least they have the peace of mind that if they touch bumpers, bump mirrors, they've got some cover in place.
Now, Grant, I want to get more of a practical example here. I drive a Lamborghini Huracan. I want to join the Festival of Motoring and get a chance to drive my car around the track and experience my car on a racetrack. I approach Silvercrest Insurance Brokers and I need you to insure my car. How does it work, and can you take us through the process?
Well, first and foremost, what we did is identifying a need last year after the festival. We created a company that driver trains supercar owners. Not necessarily teaching them how to drive their cars faster, but on how to handle their cars in extreme situations. We've had 2 courses already. We're going to run a multiple of courses prior to the event. So firstly, get hold of us and get in touch with us for that. And then what we will do is we will grade a driver according to their ability for the event. We will also discuss with them insurance. It's inexpensive as opposed to what people would think they would actually pay for a 5 or 6 million rand car. Likewise, a supercar insurance. If you had to take typically a million rand BMW and a 2 million rand Lamborghini, the Lamborghini would cost less than the BMW on a monthly basis. But obviously there's restrictions in place like nominated driver, limited mileage, etc. But yes, so we've identified the need for educating supercar owners, and we will put that in place at the festival. We will grade drivers in an ABC type of environment, A being your advanced and C being your beginner, which we would have established prior to the event with our driving courses.
In terms of how Silvercrest Supercar Insurance Brokers cover me in my supercar off the track, how does that work?
Well, like I said earlier, comprehensive and your normal day-to-day insurance excludes track cover. So the supercar product you bought from Silvercrest would be exactly the same. So it's an additional policy you can take out on the day, or any track day for that matter. You can pay it on the day. You can then take out a policy for 12 months exclusive to track cover. So is it a product available only to Silvercrest clients? No, it isn't. Unfortunately, if you're not with us, we'll still offer you track cover on the day and for events going forward.
I think that makes it a lot easier, I guess, Dennis. Is there anything you want to add there?
You know, the key thing is that we have an enjoyable and a safe day. And that's why Grant is engaged with the driver training. We're giving people some training before they get to the track. Kyalami is very daunting. It's a fast circuit, and in these high-performance cars, it's quite daunting. It's not child's play, if I could use that expression. The whole thing is to have a safe day and an enjoyable day. So if you give the people the assurance of having a bit of experience, and they know that they have a bit of cover from the insurance side, it makes them enjoy the day much more. And that's what we want. We want people to have a good day. Owners, our guests, our spectators, everyone.
I actually want to highlight on that safety aspect to Dennis. So again, I've got a chance to be taking my supercar around the track. What do I need to do as a driver, a supercar driver? What do I need to bring to the track on the day to ensure that things go smoothly and we are adhering to the safety rules?
I think the first thing you need to understand is that you're not Hamilton or Vettel. I think that's the first.
Leave your ego at home.
And come with understanding that you're there to enjoy it. I think that's the key thing. For us, safety is paramount.
Well, what we're doing following on to the driver training, we're also educating our clients on what they need to do prior to a track event. For example, brake fluid. Normal manufacturer OEM brake fluid doesn't suffice for track days. Your brake fluid, the viscosity changes at heat, and obviously then your brakes became spongy and incidents happen. So we also educate our clients. We advise them on 2 or 3 places they can go and upgrade to racing fluid. We also advise them helmets not necessary, but we advise it. There's various things we run through prior to the event to ensure their safety.
All right, now guys, I want to move away slightly from the supercars around the track on the day. I'd like to just generally talk about the classic cars and the sought-after cars, the cars that people suddenly buy today and then in the next 10 years they're worth millions. Like, is buying a classic car as an investment a good way to do things? Does it make sense?
Well, recently there was a conference regarding the concourse, South African concourse, and I don't know what the chap's name is, but he did some sort of review and he said that the most sought after commodity in terms of investment is wine, and second to that is classic cars. And if you just look at the market in South Africa the last few years, being a Lamborghini fan, I can talk about that. The likes of a Murcielago, Diablo and Countach, you couldn't give them away 3-4 years ago. All 3 of those now are highly expensive cars. The Countach is up to probably 5 to 7 million. Diablo is 5.5 million, and a Murcielago is fetching 4.5 if you can get one. So the classic car market has exploded in South Africa. I mean, it's a sought after commodity. And to elaborate on that a little bit, it's all thanks, in my mind, down to car spotters. Every 14-year-old child with a cell phone is now a car spotter. And that is probably the best thing that any manufacturer could ask for, because it's free advertising. They're exposing these marks all over the world. And that has also built a massive awareness in worldwide, but in South Africa, on the supercar market. I mean, 4 or 5 years ago, you couldn't see one car in Sandton if you went on a Saturday morning. Now take a ride down Rivonia Road, you'll see 7 or 8. So you no longer break your neck to see this car, because a kilometre down the road you'll see another one. And that's not just Sandton, that's everywhere.
I think the other thing is people have got successful in life. So as a child you saw a F40 or a Lamborghini and you had it on your poster in your bedroom. Now you're successful, you're in business, and now you desire that car. And that's also pushed the values up. Even if you go back to the Ferraris from the 50s and 60s, a lot of people watched them race as kids. Now they have the ability to own them, and that has also pushed values up. So a classic cars is an investment. You've got to be careful, obviously, like any investment. I think with the wine, you mustn't drink the wine then drive the classic car.
But how do I go about finding a classic?
I think there's a lot of experts out there, like there is in any investment. And I honestly think you need to consult. It's also conditions important. Is the car, what's the ownership of the car? Was it owned by a famous person? All of these things are relevant. A car in bad condition can cost you the whole value just to restore it. So I would definitely engage with the experts, and there is people out there, and follow that route instead of just going out there and taking a stab at it.
All right, now gentlemen, I'm going to move away now from the classic cars and the supercars and the track experience and the insurance. Let's just talk about general tickets, Dennis. I buy a ticket. What can I get for my ticket?
I think for us it's important that once you buy a ticket and you're in there, you get to experience everything at the show. For us it's about coming to the show and having access to experience the supercars, the classic cars, the new cars, the OEMs, the self-drives, professional drives. It's an all-inclusive experience. That's key for us. It's not a matter of having to pay extra for various items or add-ons. There is value-added tickets that you can purchase, but for us it's really a key aspect is that you come there and you experience everything for the price of your ticket.
Grant Mason from Silvercrest Insurance Brokers, thank you so much for joining us on Jump In. Dennis, always a pleasure chatting to you. All the creative content that's going to be taking place at the Festival of Motoring. I'm sure we'll chat again closer to the time. Now, if you want to buy tickets, remember, it's itickets.co.za for more tickets. And you can always check out the website, www.safestivalofmotoring.com for more information. Again, thank you for joining us on Jump In, and we'll see you at the Festival of Motoring, brought to you by WesBank.